Greetings, everybody watching the recording. Let's see if anybody's going to come on live. It's the first one back after Christmas, so it's always a bit tentative if people remember, or if indeed a lot of people don't sort of come back until the 5th, 6th of January. So, for the purposes of the recording, here we go. Motley crew turning up now. How are we doing? All right?
You are. You are.
Well, Happy New Year.
Oh, well.
Saying it.
So what's this hour, David? Doing 10%, 13% in a day, did you say?
14%.
Oh, do you know, he only does it to show off, you know. He doesn't need to trade. He's got millions.
I thought that was an anonymous, Paul.
Yeah.
All I'll say,
oh, David. You trusted Paul with a secret. Oh.
All I'll say is nobody likes a smart ass.
There you go.
Hats off to you. No doubt.
No, well done. What was it? What did you trade? A mix or?
No, just you, exactly as Paul
does.
One
trade.
That's what I'm saying. One trade.
Yeah.
What was it? Euro.
Yeah.
Ah, well done. Well done.
Just following the rules.
Yeah. What I want to know is though, what made you stay in?
Well, it's just sitting on your hands. I've always said it. You know, 2% is fine, but you know, as some of the trades that came back and took me out at break even plus a little bit. If you've got a high enough account, that's all you need.
Okay, so no doubt we'll look at that when we look at a chart, if that's all right. Hoff, Happy New Year to everybody that's jumping on. And have you got SFF back?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes. It was my own daft fault. I just didn't think about it until, of course, I lost access, and it's like, oh bugger. So, but no, whoever did it, thank you very much. If it was Kevin,
yeah, Kevin did it. Right, so I want to get straight into this bit because it might be pertinent. So I have opened I'll share screen. I've opened a new FTMO demo because before Christmas we said that's what we do. Can you see my trading view?
Yep. So yeah, I opened one yesterday as well. Yeah. So there you go.
So reload page. So I passed my last one and I've opened this one, and we're going to try and do this one together. Got a $100,000 account. So it's all set up. I'm going to try desperately not to touch it other than on these sessions.
Well, as you say, you know what try gets you.
I know try is was it an excuse for possible future failure?
So just don't touch
excuses out of the way. So we'll see if we can do that, right? And because of that, I've got the alert set, and we'll see what happens. I'm just going to mark out 1 o'clock. I also found out something interesting about FTMO last night at about 3 in the morning when nobody in Cornwall could sleep because the storm was pounding on your windows like nobody's business. And you thought, is it going to hold? Is it going to hold? Is it really going to hold? That bad? So we'll set an alert and we'll see. There's 1 p.m. Now with FTMO, where do you find the rules? Probably got to go to their. I didn't find this out myself the hard way, thankfully. I was watching a guy, and if I just open a new in private window and go ftmo.com. I've been looking at a lot of prop firms over the holidays, and FTMO just seems to be the one, right? If you want to be sure you're going to get paid, and you want to be sure there's no funny business, this seems to be the one. But what I found out is, can I trade news? So I'm just going to see if this is the same as the video that I saw. So in the challenge and verification, you can trade freely during all news. After you pass, right, you should be careful when trading news releases, right? Unless your account type is swing. And then a lot of people wouldn't read past that. Following is the trade restriction table for FTMO traders with trade-specific types of reports and instruments. Only our FTMO traders trading an FTMO account are not allowed to execute any new trade or close an existing trade on the targeted, as per the table, instrument in the window of 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after release of below news. And it says what you can and can't do. Basically, I would suggest you read it, but somewhere it says if you break that rule, yeah, it may be taken as a violation of the FTMO account agreement. That's just a polite way of saying if you break it, we'll close your account, apparently. So when we're trading on demo, news doesn't matter. When you pass, you do need to be careful of news. And they have they do have the news announcement that the news is on in your back office somewhere, isn't it? They do put a list of the news that they consider. So if you're practicing on demo and you trade in the news as part of your strategy, or you just don't care about it, just be warned that when you pass and you start trading it live, that could catch you out. Now, with what we're doing, I don't think it's much of an issue if you're doing the 1 minute scalpy stuff. Where it's been a problem for one guy that I saw, he was setting pending orders. So he sets a pending order, walks away. 2 days later, news causes a spike and makes the trade trigger. Therefore, the trade triggered within 2 minutes of the news. Lose your account.
Oh, so as I understand it, I don't see there's much wrong with having a swing account.
Well,
I tried reading it and I thought, oh, I can't see there's much difference. I didn't have a swing, but I did think about it.
that is my next thing to read properly and see what the difference is between an ordinary and a swing account, unless anybody knows. But obviously, swing accounts are intended, you know, for you to hold trades. So what Brian?
Yeah, but he didn't seem to. From what I could see, I mean, I'll sort of hold my hands up if somebody knows better. I couldn't see any reason not to, as it were. You know, I couldn't see the downside of having it.
Leverage, I think, is the only thing. I think there's considerable difference in leverage. You should be able to get the two accounts up when you go to actually set an account, I think, when you try and create an account.
Leverage up to 100, and then a swing account only up 1 to 130. Which
Yeah.
again, if you're doing 1 minute scalping, I don't think there's an issue, is it?
Oh, exactly. That's it. Yeah, you don't really need much more than that anyway if you're only doing 1
No.
minute scalping. So yeah.
So that's something that we probably learned today. Then is if you're doing an FTMO, get a swing account, and then it should be suitable for however you trade. Happy New Year to the people that have jumped on as well, Alistair.
Happy New Year, everybody.
And Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Happy New Year.
Benny. Right. So there you go. So we've learned something.
Yeah. And well, as you know, I looked at I traded a Affinitive. I tried one of those.
Yeah.
They have got so many reasons not to pay you, so many violations, and they cover the whole thing. At the end of the day, they go, these are the options we have if you do any of these things. It's like, and they can make their own minds up whether they think you've done it. And I thought, whoa, I don't think so.
I know they're strict, but they do pay out. I know they do, because
Sean uses them, doesn't he?
Sorry?
Sean uses them, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, that's
big
why
on
I
them.
thought I'd have a look at them, but I think it was the fact they were so vague. And when I asked about it, they said, oh, email Risk. And Risk still came back with, we might do it. Well, how do I know whether you will or you won't? Oh, it's an option we have. Oh, forget it.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're one of the only prop firms that have actually got their own brokerage, aren't they? Which kind of, you know, I think that's why Sean went for it in the first place, because it's, you know, it is like real trading as opposed
Yeah,
to
under this 8 cap. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah. pushing the
But-
spreads out so it clears people out.
I'm
So,
sorry, what was the name of that broker? I missed that. I was trying to catch it.
the one that's
Definitive.
strict, but does pay out.
Infinity, is that what you said?
No, Infinitive.
Definitive.
Infinitive.
No,
Okay.
Finotive.
Yeah,
There
I'll
you
drop
go.
it in the chat, Benny.
Okay, thank you.
There we go.
Yeah, because I'm getting ready to buy another funded account, and this will be my fourth one, and I think I'm going to go FTMO this time. I've been going with my Forex funds, and I did one with actually two. I'm in one right now with the FTMO, but I think I just I think you said a lot of wisdom that FTMO is the really rock solid one. That's your best bet as far as getting payouts, and that's what I care about in retirement.
Exactly. But Infinitive have some great prices and stuff. It seems like $50 for $2.5 grand, 75 for 5K. So they're really good like that. So I might give
single
them a go.
phase challenge.
Sorry,
Single
yeah,
phase
there's
challenge.
a single phase. The other one that's coming up is the fivers. One of the disadvantages if we're all going to try and pass a funded account together is that obviously we've got to wait for the setups. So, hello, Kevin. Got your camera working? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Problems. Working now.
Working now. So these apparently this guy looks at the top 5, but not in terms of like what they offer. In terms of how stable are they, how viable are they, do they pay, how long have they been around? For FTMO came out top, obviously, and this one came second now because they've been around quite a long time. So I might have another look at these. I think a while ago I looked, and it wasn't worth it. But they put me off with this boot camp thing because they were meant to be giving accounts away for $1, and none of us could get it. And they said, "Oh, it's sold out," but they didn't actually put a limit on it to start with. So a bit shystery. But are you still using?
As I said to you, Paul, the idea of them having, if they truly did sell 75,000 in 24 hours, their support is going to be overrun with new people unless they've got massive backups for doing stuff. So,
and then of course there's still Funded Trading Plus. They didn't come up in it, but I do always sort of hear good things about them. But
David uses these now. My son.
Yeah.
He likes them. He's not got paid out yet, but he likes them.
Right. I'm not sure about this. The fee, and that's plus VAT, so you have to add that. Are you still with them, Kevin? Funded Trading Plus.
I am, but I've actually moved over. I don't use them as much now. I'm just trying to find a link to a different one that you might want to look at. Just put that in the chat. It's one worth looking at.
Trade, yeah, I've heard of them. Tradiac. Step 1 challenge. 10%, daily 5, that all pretty standard. Reach 10%. Is it just a one stage? List of rules. Okay, I'll check these out.
Sorry, I was muted. I'm looking at it now at the moment because I've just set up with them, but I haven't gone through all the rules yet. It's something I was doing over the new Christmas and New Year. But I've been recommended by someone who's a very big promoter in the FT or FX world, and he's closely associated with them, knows them personally, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm giving them a look.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, the prices seem reasonable as well, aren't they? And you can be a brainiac if you don't want to be a trader.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to get the actual prices. Is it difficult to see the prices or what?
I just scroll down.
Go on accounts.
Yeah,
Scroll
accounts from the
down.
top bar. Yeah.
10,000. Here you go. Yeah, 95 for 10k. That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're worth looking at.
It's another one
The
for my-
person that put me onto them have checked them out big time. Someone that I trust.
Oh, I'm going to be a maniac. That's it. Decided. I can be an official maniac then with a certificate and everything.
Right, so I haven't really. I was out this morning, so I haven't traded this morning. Yesterday, I didn't bother because I thought first day back. I'm expecting. I don't know why, but I just got a feeling that's probably going to go up, even though overall in a downtrend. We'll see. So I'll wait for an alert. I've just drawn this out. There's a wave down. It's quite big. I put the line there. If we had entered, right, where it created it, that's the earliest you could have got in. 6.9 pip stop loss, and there's 2%. So I've marked it out. We'll see what it does. So while we're waiting for something to happen, has anybody got any questions? Anything we want to go over? Anything we want to sort out as a group? Or any of that malarkey? If not, we're just going to sit here waiting, aren't we? I guess I could look to see what would have happened this morning if I'd been around.
Couple of nice trades on gold today. They were nice.
Well, yeah, we're meant to be looking at gold as well, weren't we? Sorry, we said we'd do Euro USD and gold. So let me.
I think we're waiting on news now with the gold, so
Oh, that was
really get into it now.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the economic calendar. I'm out of practice. Too much Christmas cake and beer. God, I really do feel out of practice actually. Right, so yeah, 1:30 medium news on the US dollar. So I guess that's only 12 minutes away. We'll wait for that and see if we can get a trade. And then gold. And then let me have a look at NAS as well. I'll look at this morning on NAS. So we'll look back and see if we could have got our 2% today or 14% like Hoff. Did you trade today, Hoff? He's not talking, he's busy. All right. Right, so start with Euro USD so I can see what it's doing now. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the news. Right, so 7 a.m. is there. Wave down straight away at 7. Wave down. Is there imbalance to the left of it? Yes. So that qualifies. But I got red, red, blue, so there's no go. I could have got into it here, but what would keep me out of it? Hint.
EMA.
Yeah, we've got two. We're right on a 200 EMA, and the 200 EMA is flat as well. So it's not helping us. It's not pointing up or down. Wave up. The whole moving average isn't below the price. So that would sort of make me a bit curious, but you also got the red band. Then we get a wave down here. Red, red, red. So this one looks better. Wave down. Is there imbalance? Yes, there is. So it's created a gap on that candle. So earliest you could get in is on that one. And it would be at the bottom of it. There's the gap, candle to the left. So you put your stop loss at the top of that one. 2.8. watched a couple of things saying you should do at least 3. Somebody's broker won't let him do less than 3. So we won't do 2% on that one. So that would be a loss if you hang on for 2%. If you have the trade manager on to get you out to sort of move stop loss to break even, you haven't won, you haven't lost. But technically it might be a -1. Then we get a wave up with a fair value gap, so that qualifies. Can't get in though until I've got blue, blue, blue. And what's going to stop me? We're hanging on to the 200 again. So I probably wouldn't. I don't know. Let's suppose I did. There's a wave up with a fair value gap. I've got to wait for blue, blue, blue. My hull isn't out underneath. I really want the hull underneath, don't I? So if I was wrong, well, not wrong, but if I did get in, we get in there, there's the gap, stop loss would go underneath there to the left of where the gap was, 3.8, that's fine. 2% actually did it. Yes. Oh, actually no, because what I'm saying is I won't get until over here, would I? When I get blue, 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 which is that candle there. Stop loss would be the same. And 2% is now up there, so it doesn't quite do it. So that would be a loss. This one looks better because it's closed above the 200 moving average. The hull is underneath. So I probably would have got in potentially that candle. Let's see. Blue, blue, blue on that one. Wave up, there's a gap there. I prefer my gap to be directly to the left of the wave up, wave down. This one would have been a bust as well. So it would have been a shit morning if I had been here to trade. Did anybody trade and get anything? Red, red, red. But you're near the 200. This one, where's 8 o'clock for silver bullet?
It's been tough this morning for me, Central Time.
I think it's the start of New Year, isn't it? Oh, there's 8 o'clock. So yeah, 8 o'clock silver bullet. That's the one you trade silver bullet style. I'd be a bit nervous of it being right on the 200. If I use this one, which is actually based on the higher time frame one, wave down, yes, a fair value gap. So let's have a look. So wave down, there's a fair value gap to the left, yes. So you get in on this candle somewhere, it spikes, it goes up and down. So where's the gap? There's the gap, candle to the left. Technically, that's where you put your stop loss, top of that one. And actually it didn't hit, so this one would have worked actually. 2%. So that actually would have worked. This one here, there's no fair value gap to the left of it, so I would be nervous about that one. This one here, there's the ribbon's all the way down there. But again, if you're trying to make rules out of it, there's a wave down. Can you see that? I don't know why I've got that box there. But you can see that there's a wave down there, and we've got red, red, red. We are technically red, red, red. There is a fair value gap as well. So that one, if you're trying to systemize it and follow the rules, I can get in on this candle. There's the gap. So stop loss goes candle to the left, top of that one, 2.7. Let's make it 3. And well, as you can see, there's 2.1%, nowhere near. So that one actually would have worked. So the silver bullet time frame this morning actually would have worked. You could have got a trade out of that this morning. But there's normally a move at 7, and that would have been crappy. That would have got me down for the day if I had been trading. So thankfully I wasn't. Oh, between Christmas and New Year, if I'd have traded, I looked every day and I could have passed a funded easily between Christmas and New Year. But I wasn't trading. We'll come back to gold. Let's have a look at NAS. 7 a.m. $777 is round about there. So let's turn off that X. I'm not using that X48. So a wave down, but there's no imbalance to the left of it. A wave down, and yes, there is imbalance. We've got red, 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 so that's looking good. This pesky 200 is in the way again, though. It's not. It's often not normally. Cheers, Hoff. Right there. There's the gap. Stop loss would go there. That would be a bust. This is all sort of good practice because it's like, yeah, too close to the 200, and this is how you learn. You try and systemize it, but these are like the exceptions. Wave up, got a red, so you've got to ignore that. Wave down, you've got a blue though, you've got to ignore it. And we're right on the 200, right on the 200. This one's more interesting because we close above, but there's no fair value gap. Wave up, no fair value gap. It's a shame because that looks like it would have worked. Now then, 8 o'clock. There's 8 o'clock. So this is the silver bullet time frame. So that's when we're meant to be looking at the silver bullet time frame. Wave down, beautiful fair value gap. So you'd get in probably there. Stop loss. There's the gap. Candle to the left. That's where you put your stop loss. And I'd be amazed if that hasn't done 2% easily. There you go. So the silver bullet time frame on Euro USD and NAS today would have worked without too much problem. And if you're the Hoff who's sitting on his hands, next time he's on, we'll go over more what he's doing. But Hoff got 14% yesterday. I want to know exactly what he was doing, but the price is below the 200, and the higher time frame straightforward is telling us you're in a downtrend. Well, you potentially, if I come down to there, you won't get it all, but there's potentially 11% there. So take what you will. Right, we've got 2 minutes then before the news. So let's see what happens. I'm enjoying just trading Euro USD, to be honest with you. Quite like it. Right, we've got a wave up and we've got imbalance to the left, and we've got blue, blue, blue already. Just got that pesky 200, and the news is going to happen any minute. So if I were to get into this trade, there's the fair value gap. So my stop loss would go at the bottom of that candle, 1.09164. Doesn't mean to say I'm going to trade, but I can get ready. 17 seconds, see what happens.
And you wouldn't trade on your FTMO, would you?
Not on my live unless I'm on a swing account.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you as well, the other thing is, like, 2 minutes. It's a long time when you're sat here, isn't it? But it's actually not a long time when you're sort of waiting sometimes for things to sort themselves out. And it's not spiked, is it? So we've got a wave up with a fair value gap, and we've got blue, blue, blue. I'm going to wait because it's not particularly doing anything. I'm going to wait and give it a minute to see what happens with these. I want this, if the band, the ribbon sort of gets wider and the gap, there starts to be a gap between them, then that's generally a good sign. 20 seconds. This is why we
You're
don't
not bothered about your 200?
A little, but if it's going to move, if the momentum's pushing that way, it's got to retrace, isn't it? It might be just a 1%er. We'll see. 2, 1. There you go. The ribbon's got bigger. There's starting to be a bit of a gap. I've got the box ticked for auto break even. So if it comes back, if it makes 1% and then it comes back, I'm protected a little bit anyway. Worst that can happen, Anne, is I lose 1%. But yeah, I should be a bit more worried about that. You're right. Let's just long position. So according to this lot, I got in at 109,235. 09235. That's when I got in. Said my stop loss would go there. And 2% is 7 pips. Wow, that's quite big actually. $1.09377. I can actually bring that down a little bit. Look. 377. Right, so now I would like it to close above the 200, obviously. So now I can sit here and I can have my finger on the trigger, you see, if I start to think, it's not going to close above, or it looks like it's going to take me out, whatever. But let's just see. I think my internet might have dropped a little because there we go. So this is the first trade on this account that we're trying to do together. So should I get out at 1% or leave it running? What do you think? If it goes to 1%?
Get out at 1%.
Okay, what about everybody else?
Protect 1%, and then you've got 1% worst case scenario in my books too.
Okay.
I'm nervous, Nelly.
See, as soon as you said that, Benny, it started dropping. It's torture watching them as well. I don't watch my trades as much now.
I know you can put about 1 million EMAs on and it'll go off whatever one you want.
Yeah.
But I've got the 264 on and that's bounced off the 264.
Yeah, but then I've got the 4.6 and the 4.
I know, I didn't, I was frightened to even mention it.
Yeah, doesn't matter what it took me. I should have realised before because it's an average, but yeah, it doesn't matter what EA you put on it. It will always go to it, and sometimes it will bounce and sometimes it will break. So I'm hoping that this is a break and a retest of the 200. We shall see. The 200 is pretty flat at the minute, but it was going down and it's flattening out. So I'm hoping that means it's going to start pointing up. The news hasn't done a lot. Again, first week back probably isn't like doing as many favors, but there's always an excuse, isn't there?
And I haven't looked at all today.
Sorry,
Chase
Alistair?
myself, but I haven't looked much today. But there's no scan on Euro USD, is there? I haven't.
No, I don't. Do you know what? I like the scanner strategy still, but I don't really trade it now because I just do this. It's like a minute. You think you're trading on the minute time frame. It's fast, but like we're just sat here like lemons, aren't we? So, but trading should be boring, I guess. Did anybody get a joke book for Christmas or anything?
We were relying on you.
No, I got one about terrible jobs. That's quite interesting.
Right, go on then.
No, just one like semen taster.
Oh dear.
Girl who used to work at a lab and used to have to get the samples, so you knew exactly which whose sample came from. But you used to have to try and suck the sample up in like a glass tube. And she said it was inevitable. Sometimes you'd get some in your mouth. Like,
Yuck.
Yeah, horrible.
Dear God. She
Especially
could have
because
gone
you
off
knew
and
that-
been a traffic warden, really, push the boundaries, got a career.
Well, especially because you knew that the only reason the guys were there is because they were ill. So it's
Not happening. Not happening.
ding ding. So what should I do? Should I let it run, close it? Do you think?
Don't know. If it was me, if I'm being honest, if it was me, I'd just close it out. Go, nah, don't fancy it anymore.
Yeah. But the ribbon's getting bigger. The
Mm.
gap is getting bigger. And the blocks on the wave are getting bigger. So I'm going to stay.
Right, well,
I'm going to stick with it.
you see that now I've said that, of course, it now will.
That's
Go
why
on.
I asked. I
Yeah.
knew that whatever you said.
Oh, absolutely.
The danger is that you sort of you get tempted to close them at say like $630, whatever, which is respectable. It's really good. But the problem then is if you lose the next one and you lose 1%, you've got to do it, at the same sort of level. You've got to do one and a bit, haven't you? So you want to get at least 1% out of them if you can, really. There is that saying, you never go broke taking a profit, which is true, assuming you can get a profit on every single trade. But if you lose 1%, and you're only getting 0.5%, 0.75% on your trades, it's not the right way, is it? All right, said until I said that. I'm getting a trade manager made for MetaTrader 5 as well, by the way, because some of the prop firms, they only use that MT5. So I'm getting the trade manager transferred over to that. So it'll work up. You'll have an MT4 one and an MT5 one.
Yeah, what I noticed on the extras for Finitive, is they have a trade manager that seems quite good. Whether it's just for their, whether it only works on their MT5 when you're on their
Right.
page, I don't know, but
I tried one. They did a free account. I can't remember. It was like Skilled Funded Traders, or I don't know, one of those. But they use their own platform. They don't use MT4 or MT5. It's their own system. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. And it looks like TradingView. But I hit the buy button and I waited. It didn't go straight away. So I ended up counting. I think I got to a count of 40 before it actually entered the trade. Oh, that's no good.
well, I don't remember last year, but that's what happened with that 8 cap. That's why I went right off them. Yeah.
Right.
That's 3 minutes. I think I waited for one to go.
Wow.
Seriously.
And I had that spike. Remember, it happened live I was in a trade live on one of these, and a spike took me out. So group consensus. Do I close this while it's in a little bit of profit, or wait? What do you want to do? If we're doing it as a group, what would you advise?
Well, take a tiny bit of profit and call it break even.
Meant to be doing it as a group. What do you all say? Put something in chat. In or out?
Get out.
If in doubt, get out.
But we have to monitor it and see if it still does it.
Hold on, let's have a look at my chart.
Grace would get out.
So shifty.
I'm looking at the ribbon. You see the top line starting to just curve off a little bit. Yeah. Oh, I accept the terms. Okay. Right, so we got out at a tiny bit of profit. So now we have to see what happens. So there you go. The first group decision, we made $56. You'll feel good?
You should do. The first objective is protect your capital. You didn't lose anything, so.
Yeah, we didn't lose anything.
And in fact, I've still got the Wadawato on mine, and it's just gone red. So you know what?
Yeah, I should put
maybe
that back on the chart, actually. Tommy uses that.
Well, you planted a nice seed to begin with.
Say that again, Benny.
I said you planted a nice seed to begin this challenge.
Yeah. Well, it's better than a loss, isn't it?
I started one yesterday and lost $500 in about 2 minutes, and I put my tail between my legs and quit trading. I'm freaking out.
But that's exactly the right thing to do. Sensitivity 85. Just stop.
Well, I just qualified a $200,000 account, so I'm kind of nervous. You got to keep that up.
Right. So what we'll do then, we'll look at gold and see what gold would have done. So if we were trading gold, that's just come now. So we'd have got a wave up there, but you got red, so no good. Wave down, no fair value gap. So I wouldn't be in gold. There's one there at 1. 6 minutes past 1, sorry. The fair value gap for me is a bit far away, but that's me trading Euro USD. And then we still got the blue line there. So I personally won't be in gold. Would any of you traded that? Not
No. No.
What time? Tell me the time, sorry.
There was a wave down at 6 minutes past 1. But the whole moving average didn't match, so you wouldn't have been able to get into over here, and there's no wave down there. Then there's a wave down at 5 minutes ago, 20 to 2, but there's no fair value gap to the left, so I won't be in that one.
No, I wouldn't have got in it anyway. My settings must be just. Oh no, they're not. There, but my settings are the same. Of course, you wouldn't get in it. Where?
No.
Keep the thing still. I can't. You're moving too fast. Right. Yeah, the whole average is all wrong.
Yeah. So you couldn't do that one. and it's
Yeah.
too far to wait. I'd wait if
Oh,
it.
you can wait. That's not an issue. Well, I find that's not an issue with that. I certainly wouldn't have got in at 6 minutes past
No,
one.
no, definitely.
However, right, so you've got, so where are we talking there? Move it along a little bit. Keep going.
What? Just
Time wise. Sorry, right, go on. Right.
Yeah.
Through 13:20.
That's where it goes red, 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 really. And you've got a fair value gap created there. So you could have got in if you want to.
Yeah, 13:20. Under normal circumstances, yes, I would have got in. Would I? No, because I've got the news 10 minutes ago that,
Yeah.
suggested it may well impact the gold. So I wouldn't have bothered.
I wouldn't have got into it because there's no wave up or wave down there. But if I was trying to scalp and get a trade, I'd wait red, 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 fair value gap again, and I would use that as my potential entry. And I'm still not stopped out, to be fair. Look.
Yeah, you've already got you see with gold, I think maybe it is a little bit different, but for me, you've already got your wave down. All right, it was 6 minutes past one, but hey, no worries. You've got your wave down. You can qualify stuff and then wait for the rest.
Right. So, and that's gonna do it, isn't it? So
Yeah,
that's gonna.
there you go.
So maybe then on Monday, maybe I'll look for that on gold, and that's something we can all learn together. Like, is it just the way that it works on gold? And if you want to scalp gold,
yeah, it doesn't all happen at once.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to wait for it to, like, I don't know, mess about.
you see we're in an overall downtrend, so I should be more interested in the sells, and that would have been an easy 2%, wouldn't it? Plus.
Yeah.
Right.
Which just goes to show, because there's an hourly scan on saying it's a buy, so which it was never going to happen.
So in terms of hello,
Trying to be a complete pain. Can I just ask to check your settings on your SFA?
yeah, well, I've got the long wave.
Yeah. What should be?
462.
Yeah.
And I haven't got the wave double smoothing ticked or anything.
Okay.
And then the short wave I have set at 31. And again, wave double smoothing not ticked.
No. Okay. Thank you.
Those settings are in Discord.
Yeah.
And there's a check sheet. Checklist. 1 minute scalping. There's a checklist there, and it's got those settings on.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So, do you want to hang on for 10 minutes to see what this does, or do you just want to go and look at it yourselves and see? Because I think for this year as well, it's like if we've done what we're setting out to do, if we're going to all try and trade it together, is there any point in us hanging on?
No, once you've
I don't
done
see
it.
that there is. So, who's got something they'd like to ask? Who needs help with something? Who'd like to share something? And if not,
And I'd like to ask Ann a question. You really got me and Tommy on this goal back a while back when you started talking about Paul was talking about 1 minute, we're talking about what you're doing. And it's been a great experience. And I want to thank you for it. I'm just curious, are you still focusing heavily on gold?
Gold, and I do a couple of the indices. I do German 40 and I do NAS. And every time I try and do Euro USD, it kills me. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it, Paula? You can have, we've got the same settings, we've got the same, the same charts, everything. You do well on it. As soon as I go, it's like, oh, bye-bye 1%, bye-bye 1%. Oh, why do I bother?
I'm thinking I might add NAS to what we're doing, because it is one of the silver bullet ones as well. And if you look at this wave up with a fair value gap, I mean that is a perfect entry. So you could have got in on this candle, right? You could have got in there. That's worst case scenario. There's your gap. Sorry, stop loss. There's the gap. Candle to the left. Go to the bottom of that. 2%. And that would have been a dream. So I'm thinking maybe we'll bring NAS into it if you're in agreement. So Euro USD, gold, and NAS.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we get three things. We've only got 3 pairs to look at. We can set an alert on all of them thanks to Kevin's programming. And then, you know, we can't. What the other thing is, like, if you've got a swing account, you've only got 1 to 30 leverage. You're not really likely, I don't think, to be able to have 3 trades running. So it might just be whichever one comes in first. But today that would have been an easy winner. This one's still in play. I wouldn't be surprised if it still actually went on to ultimately do it. But hey, you know, we didn't lose. We didn't really win. We didn't really lose. So it's fair enough. We protected our account. Rather would have made 2%, and gold would have done it as well. So we could have, in theory, done 4% today. And if we lost one on Euro USD, if it does go to a stop loss, we'd still be up 3%. So that's what we should look at on Monday, isn't it?
Can I just ask, Paul, on the NAS? It's a different lot size, isn't it, or something? I don't
Yes,
trade the NAS.
is.
I can't remember now.
But,
how do we work the lot size out?
If you use the trade manager, now this is where we had issues with trade manager, and then there was an update and it was working great, and I shared it, and then other people said it wasn't working from them. So you gotta test it. Are you happy if I test it on this account, everybody? Seeing as it's over.
Yeah. And what I always do, if I'm not sure of different brokers or whatever it is with anything, all I do is put it on 0.01 and I put a trade on and I go, oh, look at that, I lost 50 cents or something, but it tells me exactly what the sizes are.
So there's US 100. I'm gonna put trade manager on it.
Because 8 cap, for instance, is you have to set it 10 times smaller than another one.
If I was to get into a trade now, and I'm going to put my stop loss there, look, 16465. 16465.0. And you see lot size 833. What do we reckon? Risking, well, I'll leave it at risk 1%. I want to make 1%. That's more like it. 135. Look, that seems spot on. Just give it a second. It's always sod's law, isn't it, when you want to test stuff? But if that was my stop loss for a sell, 131, 137, that seems about right. Let's just see what the next candle does. So if I was to get into this 16457.7 with a stop loss there, and I wanted to do 1%. That is probably about right, isn't it?
Looks right. And are you favoring the NAS 100 or the 30 or the US 100, US 30?
Oh God, no! Don't trade the US 30. It's really sad seeing grown men cry.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what happens with a lot of my accounts, is like when I'm testing stuff for people and showing stuff. So I shouldn't have done it.
Don't you start blaming us. I
It's your
said
fault.
do 0.01 and test it.
Yeah, but I wanted to see if it worked it out properly at 1%, didn't I? And I said, "Are you all right if I do it?" And everyone was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Right, so let's
No,
just
and I
see if we
said
can
do
get a
it.
small loss or a little bit of profit.
0.1. Yeah, it's going to go the right way anyway
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It moves very fast now, so
Not as fast as US 30.
you just need it to move fast in the way you want it to go. That's the trick.
And we're trading 4 minutes before 2 o'clock as well, which is another time it starts moving around a bit. So good job you did what everybody told you to do, innit? Look at that, lovely.
I'm not going to mess about and try and get more.
Yeah,
So there you go. So, but that seemed to be about right, didn't it? Near enough, anyway. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't
So there
great.
you go, Tony. So there's your answer. So if you on FTMO using the trade manager on everything that you want to trade, it seems to work it out about right. There's always a little bit of give and take with spreads and stuff like that, I guess, but I didn't seem far off. Should have let it run, look. But that's not a proper trade. So
Yeah, we told you to let it run.
anyway, look, we've got 100% win rate on our first day, so that's not bad, is it?
Marvellous.
So on Monday then, that's what we'll do. We'll pick it up again. We'll try and do at least 2% on Monday if the trades are there. Deal?
Sounds like a plan.
It does, yep.
So I'll see you then.
Thanks, Paul.
All right,
Cheers.
take care.
See you Monday,
I'm,
guys.
Cheers,
I'm away
everyone.
for a bit, Paul, so I'll catch you when I can.
You
Okay,
gonna
Alistair,
travelling?
enjoy. You off
Skiing.
skiing?
Skiing?
Yeah.
So long. So long, everybody.
I'll send you a picture. Bye.
Oh,
Just-
absolutely.
Bye.